on what scientists have to say. We have our own stories of how the world began.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are indeed fortunate because Chris here is part Crow Indian. His grandmother was a full-blooded crow. And had a wingspan of 8 feet. And as his great-grandmother once told him, Chris will now tell us the story of the first people.
It's out! Yonder in the north, there is singing on the hill. Cloud maidens, gods on the shore. There, we take our being at the beginning of all beginnings. All was water. To the north was water. To the south was water. To the east was water. And to the west, you guessed it, more water. And everything was totally wet.
All right, Chris, we get it. There was water, it was wet, get on with it.
Hey, the water's important. So back off! Now, living above the water, there was a coyote, a duck, and another duck, and they all walk into a bar. Just kidding. Anyway, the coyote told the ducks, dive down under the water and see what you can find. So the ducks dive down and come up with mud and roots. Then Coyote took a handful of mud and spread it all around. He made the hills, mountains, valleys, and up through the grasses and trees. Then Coyote took another handful of mud and blew into it. Male animals and female animals. And finally, Coyote made male and female. And it was good.
Of course, in 1492, everything changed. In fact, our researchers discovered that the 16th century lasted 100 years. And in that 100 years, America was crawling with famous explorers, mostly Spanish, whose ships could be recognized by large fuzzy dice hanging in their masts.
That's true, Dante, but did you know that it was actually an Englishman, Sebastian Cabot, who first set foot on North America? He later became very famous as Mr. French on Family Affairs with Brian Keith.
And although it was the Portuguese Magellan who first circumnavigated the globe, Englishman Sir Francis Drake was the second to do it, when he discovered what is now San Francisco in a ship of golden time.
Coincidence? You decide.
Hey, Odin, can we do that poem that we wrote?
Oh, sure.
In 1607, in the fine month of May, at 3 proud ships landed at Chesapeake Bay. And a new life began for God's people that day.
For Jamestown was born, so the story was told, to spread our Lord's word, and for the mining of gold. The living was harsh for those brave men and women. They toiled and they sweated and they rarely went swimming. They wheezed and they grunted and they sawed their linen. Their cupboards were bare, but their cesspools were brimming.
With sweat?
Oh, yes.
Oh!
And 6 million slaves.
Anything was taken from the hero of West Nation who gave up their land without compensation.
So the Indians landed underneath Plymouth Rock
Give it away, give it away, give it away now. Give it away. It's a Thanksgiving, and cookies big. Just some cookies, you please. Well, there were 13 colors.
They call themselves blue, like York, Jersey, Hampshire, and Delhi too. Massachusetts is the home of my main man. Oh yeah.
And then came in, which is a great mistake, but back off, buddy, those Quakers were great.
I thought the kid was wrong and the title was rude.
But try telling that to the Puritans, dude.
Welcome to our dual weekly meetings of Salem's First Church of Tolerance and National Witch Hunters Association. I am your pastor, the Reverend Beryl Orwell. Now, we have a couple announcements before we begin service today. Now, Tuesday night is arts and crafts night here at the church. We'll be making nooses and thumb screws. Oh, and Thursday is youth night. You know, last night the Lord came to me in a vision. He said, Reverend Beryl Orwell, you and your followers need to kill 100 witches. Or I'm going to call you home. Well, I don't want to go home. You know what my wife is like. So I urge you to hunt the good hunt. Oh, and remember, this will begin an American tradition that will last well into the 20th century. Now, here is how you spot a real witch. They melt when you throw water on them. And they are surrounded by flying monkeys.
This witch hunt to bring you the French and Indian War. French and British at war again, this time in North America. In sports, the Patriots trumped the Redskins.
British and colonists defeat the French and Indians. King George celebrates by imposing taxes on stamps, tea, sugar, and anything else he can think of.
Hey, did you hear?
Hear what?
King George is raising taxes and the people are in arms.
Colonists are in revolt.
Hey, did you hear?
What?
The colonists are revolting.
I know. Have you ever eaten with one of them?
Don't!
Hear ye. British attack at Lexington and Concord. Revolution underway. Paul Revere and the Raiders #1 on the charts with the British.
Listen, my children, and you shall hear of the midnight ride of power and man. And with the grit while wiping his chain. If my ear was a bee!
I hear a shot.
I heard a shot, monsieur.
I hear a shot, senor.
Shot, grasshopper.
I heard a shot, cum laude.